Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another AFR Tier 1 race. This is round 10. Today we're in Silverstone in the lovely country of Britain, and it's raining as expected. As always, I'm Q90 and with me is Sea Carrot.
I've brought me brolly today. Keen.
Okay, so obviously, Britain, land of the clouds, and they're showing all of their might today, so it looks like we have a wet qualifying, which will throw a spanner in the works. Now, while everybody is getting ready for their laps, let's have a quick conversation as to what are our predictions. What do we think? What do we think in terms of strategy? Is it going to be... I'm not actually sure if it's going to be a wet race. Maybe we'll try and send out some scouts to figure that out.
Yeah, I usually get a little Tweety bird come in and tell me what it's going to be, although it likes to lie, as we found out last few weeks.
Lucky Richard says, I heard wet quali, but dry race on Apollo's stream, so that's pretty cool. Okay. Alright, so wet quali, that's going to definitely throw a spanner in the works for the
sort the men from the boys, absolutely. Obviously today we've got a shortened grid, just the 13 out there. No Red Bulls, which is sad. Don't know what happened to them. Plane just didn't take off. No Red Bulls and no Pacey as well, so we've got a chance for a change at the top. Revo will probably assume favourite status, I guess, but there's going to be a few guys in the hunt.
Yeah, so and we also don't have Pacey today, so one of the Mercedes drivers is out missing. So it looks like Seb's going to take up the mantle there. So instead of fighting his own teammate, Seb's going to be the one bringing it to Revo. So as long as his internet decides to keep up, we should have ourselves a fantastic fight there.
Chance for a fresh face on the podium too. Obviously, the Ferraris will be pushing. Gus has always shown good pace. Band will be looking to break through that top three. I don't think he's top of podium this season. He's been awfully close though. So I'm really keen for this. This will be good.
Yeah, well, of course, Britain being one of the most iconic tracks on the calendar. Of course, where F1 all started, I believe, was the first race in 1950.
Yeah, look, it predates me. That's about all I know.
Yeah.
But it's a tricky one for me. It's not my best track. It's a hard one to nail, and there's a lot of places you can lose time too. So we'll see how the guys handle the transition from wet to quali to a dry race, because even though it's known for being wet, it is Britain. Not a lot of people tend to practice in the rain.
Oh, Apollo!
Yeah, we've got our first spin.
First victim there. So obviously people got to try and get used to the track. Let's jump
first,
in.
won't be the last.
He's coming out on his, finishing up his out lap. Now he's on his first hot lap there. Now, of course, Britain home to arguably the best corner complex on the F1 calendar, which is the Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel Curve. Now, that is one of those corner complexes where it will bite you in the butt if you're not careful. It's a very fast transition between the curves, and comes out in a really menacing as you come around Beckett's and into Chapel. And I think as the fuel load and the tyre deg starts to kick in with the weight shifting around, I think that's where we're going to see some pretty fantastic, whether it be battles or wipeouts. I'm thinking that's where a lot of the action's going to be. And of course, coming out of Luffield and Woodcote up into that long straight before Cops, that's going to be a good battle section.
Yeah, time management's key. We know that overheat those tyres, you're going to start understeering, and that's when those corners will really kick you. So keep ahead of those tyres. Don't let them wear all the way down as Geordie leaves the session. Back. But yeah, all about time management. All about keeping those temps in the ideal window so you don't get bitten, and concentrate. It's so easy, as I see Wahid spin into the wall It's not ideal. He's lost his front wing. That'll hurt his first run anyway.
Oh, no way. No way. Why? He just got disqualified from the session.
Oh, wow.
Because he spun in front of the pit lane.
Oh, no.
Drama already, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 12 minutes to go in the qualifying session, and already one of the drivers, and to be fair, by no fault of his own, it's just because this game's so Nazi when it comes to... Whoa! As one of the Alphas just went sideways there. So I'm not actually sure what happens here. I'm sure they'll restart.
Look.
Or maybe not.
I don't think they will. I'm sure they'll be having a conversation with it. But with the damage he took, it wouldn't be unrealistic to say he probably would miss the session anyway.
All right, well, we'll have to see.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens. Okay, so let's have a look at the times that have been posted while we were chatting away there. We've got a 1:40.1 by Band. Now, of course, it's very early in the session, and we've still got people like Revo and such that haven't gone out yet. But throughout the week, just watching the practice races that we've had, Band has been so consistent, it's terrifying.
Yep.
May not always be the fastest, but his lap around Silverstone. Now, admittedly, it's raining right now, so we'll definitely go on board for one of them. But his lap around Silverstone, when it's dry, is hypnotically smooth.
Yeah, he's button-esque. It's really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and so yes, definitely, I agree with some of the guys in chat here that that he'll do a good race.
Cursing now,
yeah, I have screwed up there.
But we know Band, he's a smooth driver, he doesn't get penalties, and this might be his time to shine for sure. He's been brutally ripped off a few times. He's got a few fourth places, so I think he deserves it, as long as he can put it all together.
We'll see how it all pans out. So yes, he does a 1:40.1 there, and everyone, of course, on the intermediate tyre. Seb come across with a 1:40.3, Apollo Pepsi with a 1:41.1, and then the rest of the grid falling within those times. Nut having a bit of an issue there, 2 minutes 4 seconds. But
yeah, he had a spin in the grass.
Yep, there you go. So Revo just finishing his lap now. In the middle of his lap, he's just coming around Woodcote there. Let's jump on board as he comes down that back straight to Cops. Now, interestingly enough, usually this corner can be taken slightly flat. A lift-off is recommended. Now, in the wet, of course, you're not going to do that flat because you'd be into the wall. So the yellow flag is out there. We'll see how Revo manages the corner complex here. Oh, he's got some traffic there, so I think that's going to be a write-off for him. So Nut has to get out of the way there.
He's covered a bit of a slipstream, but this isn't where you want it. As he understeers into it, and Nut loses the rear end.
Oh, jeez, almost collecting the back of that McLaren. Luckily for Revo, managed to get away with that, so no damage for the racing point.
Definitely hurt his lap though, big time.
And he comes across with a 1... And he still came across with a 1:39.5. I
would have thought he lost at least half a second on that too,
and,
wow.
Oh, Revo, man. Like, we know he's quick, so really it's not that much of a surprise. But still, he had a wonky middle section, and then to deal with the back, and he still comes... he's
still sliding.
And he comes across. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he left a lot in the tank there, so that's a little bit scary. We'll see what the others can do.
All right. As
is anyone on that level?
Finishes up his outlap, we'll jump on board for a full lap session. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, River with a 1:39.5. He's that's 6/10 up, man. That's wicked. That is wicked. And he messed up, so it's like he still has...
He got a toe down the straight, but I mean, he understeered through at least 2 or 3 corners there because of traffic. So,
alright, so Seb coming around that first corner there. Now, on that pit straight, coming up into Abbey. Usually, in the wet, of course, you got to lift up there. Shifts up into 7th as he makes his way into the village. Down through the gears, maintaining traction. Puts himself up into the loop. Down again. And this is where you come up into that DRS area, which of course is disabled because we're raining. Moves around Aintree. Down on the Wellington straight towards Brooklands. Full power. And you usually come down 3 or 4 gears down here. Let's see. Maintains 4th as he clips Brooklands corner. Then into Luffield. And around there. Making sure not to slide out as he puts down the power. Comes through Woodcote onto that old pit straight section. And then into the famous corner. Cops. Will he take it out? No. Comes down. Plays it safe. Holds up. Uses that curve there. As they make way to the corner complex. Maggots and Beckett's. So usually in the dry this will be flat. But here in the rain you can see that the car fights for grip. As he comes down through the gears. Upshifting that second DRS zone. Through Chapel Curve. Onto the Hangar Straight. As they make their way to Stowe. Now, Stowe a little bit controversial. We'll have to watch it in a dry race because the track limits don't trigger. As you can see on the left there, you can actually go all the way out onto that green stuff and you won't get pinged with a warning. So, I've been told by Band to keep an eye on it. So, yeah. So, it's not something that...
Okay, alright. Well, we might need to do our own stewarding on that one after the fact a little bit.
Alright, and Seb
I'm sure the boys won't push it.
With a 1:39.1. So obviously with that lap, that shows that Revo has a lot more potential to bring. So yes, we will have to keep an eye out on that because the game doesn't steward itself in that respect. That's how a lot of the time trial times get done. You just go really out wide, which gives yourself a more straight exit, and you can shave off something like 4/10. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm just watching Nut and I'm hoping he can put a clean lap together because every time I watch him he has a spin. So
Revo just went across in a 1:38.5. So he brings it down into the 1:38 in the mid 1:38.
Took a second off his time. Fair to say there was something left in the tank.
Yeah. Jesus. So we're seeing some good stuff here. Now, like I said, I am going to go on board with Band. We'll see if his smoothness kicks in again.
See if it translates to speed.
Here we go. So if you just have a look, he plays, it's so hypnotic the way he takes corners, the way he shifts. Just on this track, I'll be honest, I haven't noticed him on many other tracks before, but watching him throughout the practice week, it's so well done. I just don't know, of course, if he can match the times of, say, Seb or Revo. But I reckon in the race, he'll definitely give him some competition.
Yeah, he very, very rarely gets a kick back through the wheel. So smooth. Doesn't need to overcorrect. Does that mean he's not pushing hard enough though? And that's where he's leaving stuff on the table.
There, as he comes through each corner, just nice smooth power application. Doesn't spin, no sliding. Let's see how he goes through Cops. Shifts down, look at that, just keeps the power gradual and keeps the traction going. So he's got no sliding, and that's where a lot of the time's going to come from.
So well suited to wet driving, really is. Now
admittedly, I'm sensing that he takes that section a lot slower than, say, Revo or Seb, but right now he's up on 3 seconds on his sector, so it is a much slower lap.
He's not using any DRS, so... I mean ERS, I should say.
Yeah, so I don't think he's on a lap. Yeah, that does look about right. If he's not using
supposedly
ERS,
on a lap, but
it's probably not flying. I think it'll be
now he's switched into it now, so this lap is coming up too.
Right, so here we go. Now we'll see more. How much different will it be? Let's see. As he comes across that straight into Abbey. Oh, keeps it in 7th here, righto. Lifts up a little bit just to maintain the car there as they move in a village. Down through the gears, nice and wide. And it comes down again. Will he shift down into 1st? No, keeps it in 2nd. Nice and smooth there. A little bit of fighting with the steering wheel, but not enough to make it crazy. Nice
3/10 up on his previous lap.
Nice and wide. high and then kicks it into the apex so we can get a nice little exit there. No curb as he makes his way down the Cops. Now, will he shift into 8th? Yes, he does. Now, a lot of people...
straight back down again.
Yeah, a lot of people stay in 7th. They let the car... Ooh, there's a little bit of kick out. They let the car rev out, and apparently it gives them better stability because you tend to limit the lower end as it gives out. So, it's an interesting trick there. But anyway, as he comes into that second DRS zone... Oh.
You certainly find that in real life as well. Just helps maintain the weight transfer as well, not jumping up a gear.
Curb. Alright, as it comes into the...
definitely a nice lap.
There. Valen Club.
Don't think he's done enough to jump on Seb here, but he'll maintain his third nicely.
139.7, so he stays in third position, ahead of his teammate there. Gus rules with a 5 grid place penalty because he's collided with Bull and Rocky. That's not going to be nice.
He's taken Bull and Rocky out by the look of it, so controversy.
There he is there on the side of the track. So, unfortunate there. Does he have any damage? No. Or at least not any visible damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm sure we'll find out. Both of them are avid recorders. Bull and Rocky sitting in 5th. They'll be pretty happy with that as it stands anyway.
As you can see, the Ferrari getting a little bit sideways there. He uses a lot of curb on that exit.
As I see Saxa run deep and off, taking a bit of foam with him.
He pulls off to the side there. Ooh, Greeny with a little cheeky toe.
Oh, as Greeny gets the understeer beast over into the grass, that'll cost him down the straight a little bit.
Just pop up. So Revo's in the middle of his lap right now, but he is also down on his time by about a 10th.
Oh, takes every bit of curb there.
So what has he got? Sector 2, 1010. Yeah, up there. So he's definitely lost some pace there. Apollo crosses the line, so he's done with a 140.5, and that'll put him in 7th. We'll see if anybody else can get a better time as they go across. Bull and Rocky, of course, is retired. Something happened there. Nut and Wahid also out. Wahid with that unfortunate disqualification earlier in the session. Okay. Which also means that Revo won't get another lap, correct? Yes, so he comes across. So 138.5 will be his, which gives him provisional pole right now. Of course, Seb is still on one, but I don't think it's going to be enough. No, it won't. There we go. So Revo on pole, Seb in second. Bandcamp still on a qualifying lap, so we'll see how it goes. We'll jump on board with him as he comes through the Maggots and Beckett's into Chapel. Let's have a look. What will his Sector 2 time be as he comes into that DRS zone? Is it up? Is it down? He's had way too slow there, so he'll probably stay in third. And the rest of the drivers are out. Looks like Greeny's on an outlap, which means that's him done. I don't know why it wouldn't give him a... Oh, wait. So it looks like a grid will be what you see. Oh, hold on. Gus Rules comes across with a 139.1, and that knocks Band off that third position. So he gets the last position on that second row, and the Ferrari comes up in the third. Pretty good end there. Okay. Bit of a surprise. So yes, Gus does get a five place penalty. So that puts him what? That puts him 7th?
We'll certainly see how that affects things, but
so there we go. So
Gus got paid.
Gus with a 5-second penalty. A 5 grid place penalty there. So that puts him down into 7th. And unfortunately for Wahid with the disqualification, but there is your grid. Revo there in first. Seb taking up the second position on that front row. And then, of course, Bandcamp and Combined will be the corrected second row. So it will be it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out in the race. Now, from what we've been told, it'll be a dry race. So, yeah, should be some good racing. 26 laps, of course, with the 50% race distance there. I think the winning strategy is soft to medium. The track does allow for quite a long time on the softs. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think the one stop is a no-brainer given the wet quali. Everyone's got fresh tyres for the race. You'll probably see guys try and get that whole 10, 12 laps on the softs before they change over and run to the end.
Alright, so it looks like we've got a nice blue sky for our race, which is quite a unicorn in from British standards. But that's good for us, because that means we're going to get to see some really good, fast racing. And hopefully that means we get some nice close battles. And, yeah, keen to see it started as we wait for all the players to finish loading and jump in. And then they'll get their strategies out of the way. And then we'll watch the formation lap, get some heat in those tyres, get the last checks and everything. So what have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 drivers.
Yeah, Geordie should be back for the race. Didn't get a chance to do much in quali, unfortunately.
So, of course, entire grid going on their formation lap now. Let's make sure to get everything set up. I really wish there was a way to save all these settings. So you can go bam.
Oh, I wish there was a way to do a lot of things on this game, but it's we're stuck in the dark ages a little bit on a few things, but we do our best.
See everybody making their way around the track, building up heat, checking the car, making sure everything's kosher. Maybe going a little bit wide there.
Vast majority of the field opting to go with the softs. We've just got the three guys, Gus, Nut and Wahid, on mediums to start. Obviously hoping the overcut will work for them.
Lucas North. I see we are back to some exquisite corner names this week. Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Yeah, of course, Britain known for its very exquisite track with famous corners like Woodcote and Abbey. Hopefully I'll be able to say them right throughout the entire broadcast. I'll definitely try. And if not, of course, Nut will graciously re-record everything that I say. So... yeah, you guys are
for
covered.
comedic effect.
You guys are covered one way or another.
Revo cheeky backs up the guys behind him with a hard lock up. Trying to get a few guys to go nose to tail.
Alright, so they all come around that last corner there, ready to prep up on the grid. I might try and spectate from maybe band, because I do know that when you spectate from the front, you tend to miss some of the stuff that happens in the middle. On the
I tend to view from around that 10th or so spot, because usually you get to see the whole pack going to the first corner and away from you.
Yeah, so 5 lights, just waiting for them to turn off. Everybody ready to go, and there we go. Lights out, away we go, moving down towards that first corner. Everything seems pretty good so far as they make their way down. Is Seb going to take out that first section? No, Revo does maintain. It doesn't seem to be any incidents so far, so we're going really good there. Revo, Seb, Bandcamp and Combine make up your top 4 as they all make their way round. Moving on to that Wellington straight. Alright, so far we've got ourselves a clean race here. Yep, everybody pretty much in line.
End plates all survived.
Yeah. Apollo and Geordie make 2 positions there on Saxa. Okay, so the intervals look pretty good so far. Shortest one there would be Geordie there with Apollo. Saxa.
Geordie managed to climb 4 spots in that opening few corners. He'll be happy with that on the march.
So it looks like my interval thing already has a glitch. 1 lap, it says. Apollo and Saxus. Hopefully that fixes itself up again. I hate when that happens. It makes it so hard to check the intervals. But anyway. Alright, so Revo still your race leader with Seb behind with 0.3. Combined 0.9. And Bandcamp behind him. So of course combined getting the advantage over those 2. Apollo makes that move on Gus, and then Gus makes the move again, and then Apollo makes the move again. So nice little fighting in the back there. But of course it is the first lap. So here's where the gaps start to widen as they come down. Revo, of course, that's the fastest lap being in front. Now Seb bringing that gap down to 0.031. So from the get-go, he's already trying to fight. We'll try and maintain a good eye on these. This is going to be a track where, I apologise in advance, but trying to watch all the fights might be a bit difficult. But we'll see what we can do. Okay, so really closing up there on the back of Revo. Making sure to make Revo remember that just because Pacey isn't in this race doesn't mean that the Mercedes are out of it.
See, Apollo and Gus with Geordie are having a nice little fight as well in the midfield, all over each other. A couple of dive bombs.
Check them out.
Hardcore defending going on.
Let's jump on board there.
Oh, that's a risky spot to go for the inside.
Oh, Gus trying to force Apollo off on the track. Looks like Geordie's going to try and make up that position. But no, he gets forced out on the Maggots and Beckett's. So Apollo slots down into the middle between those 2. Gus gets away. Might be a little bit of a check on that because Apollo did get forced quite wide.
There was a couple of cheeky dive bombs just before that too.
Oh, there's contact again.
Apollo's got contact.
So Geordie and Apollo wheel to wheel. Geordie makes his way off that side of the track and he gets the overtake. Oh, Seb now sets the fastest lap with a 1:30.6. Jesus, it's lap 3 and we're already seeing bumper to bumper. This is going to be good. All right.
Yeah, pulling no punches there.
Now Geordie, see, I thought that was going to happen. So Geordie went off on that section, took up the position, and now he's gotten a penalty for doing so. He did not forfeit the position back to Apollo, and so he gets a penalty for his trouble.
Now, was he pushed off to take that corner cut? Was something we'll have to check, because if he was, then there might yet be more to that story, but we'll have to wait and see until the end of the race on that. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you can claim a push at Stowe. Stowe's so wide. You have so much space. Like, I mean, if you want to claim you got pushed, that's fine. But you could just. This is one thing, and it's a characteristic, and that's fine. Okay, but you could just back off, right?
Yeah,
you could just let off, fall in line, use the toe, and then go back in front. But literally nobody wants to do that. They're just like, no, this is my position. I'm taking it. And then they do that, and then they end up getting in more collisions and forcing, and then you get incidents like this, which is good for us because it makes more interesting racing.
Geordie's going to take Gus.
Here we go.
He does. DRS kicked in for him there.
That's perfect. Of course, lap 3, which means DRS, of course, was activated. So Geordie gets the position up there on Gus, because I'm going on a massive monologue. And Revo takes fastest lap again with a 1:30.4.
Yeah, well, in saying that, there was probably 3 or 4 times a couple of guys got pulled out during that little exchange. So
Lotus gets 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Alright, let's have a quick look at these intervals. Everybody seems to be pretty close. Looks like Wahid's getting right up on the back of that Alpha there of Saxa.
Especially on those mediums. He's finding good pace with those.
He's finding good pace. But I think someone did say that Wahid goes pretty bloody hard around this track. So see how that goes. He takes the TRS as he moves into the corner. Down through the gears. Will he maintain it? Yes, he does. Saxa falls back in line there. So nice little position. 12th to 11th there. Good job by the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, he's a little bit out of position. He's better than a 12th place driver. I've got no doubt about that. So he'll be on the march for sure. Points. Obviously going with the overcut with the medium, so hoping that pays off for him. If he can etch those mediums out a long way and hope the guys in front of him fight and lose time and cook their softs, it's him with a chance.
Yes, indeed. All right, watching these intervals, everyone seems pretty close. Revo's got himself a nice 1.1 gap between him and Seb. Combined 5 seconds behind Seb, so it looks like number 1 and 2 are in their own little race, as usual. Bandcamp right up the back of Combined, 0.4 with him, and then Bull and Rocky right behind him, so might just switch up to there and have a look at this little fight happening for 3rd, 4th and 5th. As, of course, Bull and Rocky gets a nice little toe down the pit straight. Nice gaps forming. This is good to see. So we'll see if the Alpha could score some really good points this week. So we'll come across there into that DRS zone. Let's jump on board. How much can he close the gap? Of course, Bandcamp also has DRS. Oh, man. Gets right up on the back of that Renault there. Coming round Luffield. Into Woodcote, down into the straight towards Cops. Bloody hell, look at that. Oh, he shifts down. Okay, so jump on board with Band. Follow him for a little.
Combines doesn't tend to take the nicest line through there. Gets it done, but a little bit over the shop. This Band's got a chance to pounce here. He's coming right up on him with DRS around the outside.
Into Stowe. He goes around the outside. How much does he have to kiss the curb? Not a lot, as he makes that position. And Combine has to filter down into 4th. Good job by the Renault there.
It was a beautiful overtake around the outside. Geordie picks up a 3-second pen.
3-second penalty, but of course Combine now gets a little bit of a toe on pit straight, and he'll be in prime position for the DRS acquisition onto Wellington.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that as he comes up the next straight. He's certainly well within touch and distance. Gets a good exit.
Here we go. Comes onto that. Will he hit the DRS? There it is. Flap opens. So we'll see how much time he can gain there. He'll probably get it down to about 0.2 maybe.
Band had a really good exit through there, and that's the smooth driving coming back to you.
That's it. So Band, of course, going to play. Now, we all know that Band is a fantastic defensive driver. So it's not like Combine's going to have an easy job. As they move their way down the straight to Cops. Lotus taking up that position from Nut at the back there. Wahid, of course, getting across Polo Pepsi. Ooh, and Saxa as well. Oh, something's probably happened to Apollo. Let's quickly go down. Not sure what's happened to him.
He has no right side of his wing.
Something has happened to him, yep, definitely.
I'm not exactly sure where, but he's left it out on track somewhere. Band's just securing that gap, about half a second to Combined. Combined's a good fighter though, likes a cheeky dive bomb, so he won't give it up, but Band looking like he's got that position secure for now. Greeny coming up on the back end of Flyboy. 4/10 in it, trying to shake him off.
Might be something there. Flyboy, Greeny and Geordie, nice little train happening there. 0.2 the gap between all of them. On board with Geordie's Red Bull. Polo Pepsi getting 5 seconds for speed in the pit.
Wow.
Oh no.
The rains at pause. Both McLarens looking like a tough day out.
On board with Geordie, let's see. Greeny gets DRS, of course, on Flyboy. Geordie gets DRS on Greeny. How will that affect them as they come down? Stay on board with Geordie for a little while. See how this battle goes. Oh, he gets way up on the outside there, but Greeny, of course, with the inside line. But can Geordie get a decent exit and pull up onto that straight into Cops? Maintains the 0.2, so he's got a 0.2 gap there. As Flyboy and Greeny make their way around. Nice little attempt there, but that's Luffield, not a great place to try and overtake on the outside because it just widens way too much. So the inside being the key line there. as they come down into this second DRS. Alright, how will it work into Stowe? The Red Bull getting really good pace here. Is he going to challenge? He tries to go on the inside.
Ooh,
there
brave.
it is. Very late braking. It's probably going to force Greeny onto the outside as Geordie takes that position. Good job there by the Red Bull. Flyboy managed to getting away, so the fight becomes now between the Red Bull and the Renault driver. Very good move. Onto the inside there. And that's the place to do it too, because you have so much room to play with in Stowe. So if you're brave enough, you can brake later and you can make those moves. But at the same time, it can screw you over, because if you lock up,
oh yeah,
it's not a great. It doesn't put you in
lock
anywhere
up, and
good.
you're into the shadow realm on that one. So
That's it.
It's high risk, high reward, but it's been paying off for him so far.
Alright, so Geordie gets DRS, of course, on Flyboy there, bringing down the gap. But Flyboy just seems to have pace. I mean, maybe he's mimicking the real-life Ferraris, which, of course, have been surprising everybody since the summer break. Just to interject my 2 cents in real life. Go Leclerc.
Yeah, I thought Vettel had it, choked it away. It'll be a good race tonight for sure. Keen. Hopefully 3 good races.
Flyboy! He spun! Oh, and it's contact as well! Geordie's managed to collect him. Oh, no! He's not been able to get away, so now he's going to have damage on that front wing, and...
Oh, no.
Man, and Flyboy's made it all the way down the... Oh! Okay, unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. Oh, God, now he's got some serious damage because he's struggling to hold. He's going to have all the debris on the tyres. And he just got collected. He just got collected by Geordie there. God, that's got to suck. Oh,
he's still intact. Luckily, no lasting damage, but yeah, Geordie's race as well. It's really done for.
So
what a shame.
Unfortunate there from Geordie. So he's going to have to get full replacement there of his front wing. And as I said, the corner complex of Maggots and Beckett's at the Chapel is really, really fast and really, really technical. And there was something that was going to go pear-shaped. It's going to be there. Because when you start getting weight distribution and you take into account your fuel load and you take into account your tyre deg, it can bite you. It can bite you so hard. And as we saw, Flyboy it spun him, and unfortunately Geordie couldn't dodge. And he just right into the side. Ah, man, and it's so unfortunate. But hey, racing's racing. All right, let's jump on board with Combined. That he's having a pretty good battle here with Bandcamp. Just watching the interval times, he managed to bring it down to about 0.1. Of course, Pepsi gets another 3-second time penalty. Unfortunate for him. All right, moving into Stowe. How's the Haas driver going to do? He's going to pick on the outside. We'll see how it works for him. Nah, Band gets the little better line into there, so he's just going to fall right back.
Oh, he's not giving it up though. Here we go. He's going. Oh, he's lucky. Band peels off into the pit.
So that gives Combined that third position there after 8 laps.
As all that nonsense happened, Lotus jumped Saxer as well, so having a good recovery. He's up into the top 8. Both Toro Rossos on the move.
Now, I'd just like to point out that unfortunately for the British Grand Prix in F1 2019, a lot of the director cameras are on board. So I was trying to switch to get a better view of Flyboy spinning, but it just switched to another onboard camera.
The cameras here are absolutely shocking.
So,
they're either on board or they're in the middle of a curb.
I know, so I did try to get a better view, and unfortunately it probably looks really, really messy, and I apologise for that. But yeah, it's a shame, man. Flyboy having such a good race there, up in 5th. And yeah, managed to spin out. So, Zahas goes a little bit wide there. Maintains.
So now eyeballs will be on those guys who pitted. So Bandcamp and co. What sort of pace they've got. They've got to march up. Will we see how strong this undercut is?
Well, remember that they did have fresh tyres because of a wet qualifying. So, oi! Revo! 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
This is happening way too much. That's a silly mistake for him.
Yeah, that's happening way too much. That happened last race, and it happened again today. Oh,
When
man.
the fine margins, when you're only 2 seconds ahead of the guy that's right on your bum, that's costly, big time.
Yeah. So,
As Combined takes temporary lead of this race.
all right, so now the question will be this. Can Seb race consistently enough to not get time penalties and have a comfortable win? Because what we see with Pacey is, Pacey tends to go into second, chase down Revo with everything he's got, but then make slight mistakes, which gives him time penalties, which then pushes away the buffer that he's gained because of Revo's mistakes, and it resets both of them on the grid. So all Seb really has to do now is race consistently, stay within the 5 seconds, and he's won.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, they're coming up into traffic eventually soon, which is always the risk with the undercut as well. Silly things can happen. Cars are usually pretty good at getting out of the way, but that's always the risk of it.
So Gus getting a 3-second time penalty there, as we see Combined with a temporary lead. Enjoy it while it lasts, because of course you have to pit, as well as the majority of others. Alright, might just, Saxy gets a 3-second time penalty as well, and there goes Combined into the pits there, and I'm sure some of the others will follow. Let's jump down to...
I'm going to keep one eye open on Flyboy and Geordie just to see if there's any bad blood left after that. But just a second between them, so we'll keep an eye on that fight as well.
To be real, there's nothing either of them could have done. You can't, obviously you can't control a Formula 1 car in a slide. The thing is so precisely tuned. If it's not going straight, you don't have control. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And Geordie, I mean, he was close, so close behind. Yeah, where was he going to go? And it's in Maggots and Beckett's. It's not like it's you literally can't go anywhere. It's so technical, you bang. It's no choice. So, look, it's a racing incident. It's unfortunate what happened to both, the early pits, but...
It's a long way to go. They've still got a chance for points, both of them, so... No need to have a big cry now. Head down, keep going.
Mm-hmm. T-Mac making a really good point. The pit lane in this... Nut gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately. The pit lane in Silverstone is very long. It's something like 40 seconds? Between your entry, your pit, and your exit. And that's, of course, just tyres. So if you've got to go in for another nose...
Yeah, it's crazy. Longest on the calendar, is it? Or damn close to it?
I'm not sure. I'd say it's the longest in the calendar, but
yeah,
not sure specifically.
Which obviously leads to why you do a one-stop and you don't... A two-stop is absolute madness.
Mm-hmm.
And probably getting your pit stop done early is the way to go.
So Bull and Rocky trying to push as hard as he can up to the back of that Renault of Greeny. He's got the DRS there. Will he make an attack? Revo gets a faster slap on the mediums there. 130. No, but he has to back up. So he had the inside line, but I think brakes didn't work too well for him. So Greeny stays in the lead there. As everyone switches... I'm sorry. Apollo Pepsi is DNF'd. When did that happen?
Okay, let's have a look.
Alright, well, he was on the hard compound 3 laps in and now he's DNF'd, so I would assume a crash. But I've got no prompt for it, so that's a surprise to me, so we'll have to try and figure out what's gone on there.
Well... Yeah, he only had the 1 time penalty on him, I think. So, no, he had speeding and a 3 second, so he had an 8-second penalty, but it was down in the doldrums, I guess. Maybe he just thought it wasn't worth fighting for it. I don't know.
Right, we'll have to try and get some more info on that.
Keep an eye on that.
Alright, so at lap 13, we've had the majority of people pit, except of course Gus, Wahid, and Nut. And we see that the gaps are starting to get really, really big. Wahid with the 2-second gap behind Gus. Revo's 4.5 behind him, but I'm sure he'll catch him in no time because Wahid and Gus still have to pit. Seb 2.5 behind Revo, and then Nut is 7.4 behind him. Revo sets another fastest lap, 129.9. So, as we get... This is the midsection of the race, so as we get more and more into it, we'll have to see how those gaps evolve.
Yeah, not a lot of DRS happening at the moment. Only 2 cars on track within a second of each other as Bull and Rocky tries to move up on Greeny. Which will be for position. They've both had pit.
Bull and Rocky just got a 3-second time penalty. Pushing a little bit too hard.
Definitely pushing.
Lotus gets another 3-second time penalty as well. I feel so bad for him. Like,
Greeny run wide.
Greeny goes wide.
There's
That
a chance
causes
for
Bull and
Bull,
Rocky.
and he takes
He takes the
There we
position.
go.
Yeah, I feel so
Bit of
bad
pressure.
for Lotus. He gets penalties every race.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm dying. Sorry. Yeah, he gets penalties every race. Like,
Yeah, he's kind of the anti-band, isn't he? He's he's a little bit. He's a little bit finicky. He likes his penalty. Can certainly be fast on his day, but yeah, sometimes the mess catches him out a little bit.
Unfortunate there. Alright, so Bull and Rocky getting a nice little extendable lead there. Let's go down to Geordie, see how he's going to recover from his nasty collection into the side of Flyboy. He's making his way up to the back of that Alfa Romeo as they come round Cops into Maggots and Beckett's. Will jump on board. See how he goes. Let's see. 7th. Usually down to shift to 6th there, and then 5th into coming into Chapel. Yep. Textbook into the DRS zone. How much speed does he bring up? Up into 8th. Will he go on the outside or on the inside? Saxer on the inside. Geordie on the outside. Will he manage to get it? He's probably going to run a little bit wide. Yep. Thanks, Director Cam. Just go to the nose cone. That's cool too. Didn't want to watch that overtake. This is what I'm talking about, people. The British cameras are crap. I'm sorry.
They are awful.
Okay, so Geordie gets the position there. Bandcamp gets the overtake on Nut. Saxer gets a 3-second time penalty. What camera is this?
40, but no.
What camera is this? Wait,
yeah,
what am I looking? Oh, man.
There's no camera on the front wing. What is going on? In all that, Geordie has managed to pull a good second on Flyboy after their pit, so he'll be happy with that. Flyboy's pace down a little bit. Gonna find it tough to get back in points from here.
Alright, we'll move up to the middle section here. It looks like Combined getting closer and closer to the back of that McLaren. Nut, of course, being overtaken by Bandcamp. Nut getting tyre deg on his little on his medium tyres there. So Combined goes up onto the inside of Stowe.
Oh, he gets it done before the corner.
That's
beautiful.
Great overtake there. No pressure going through now as he comes into the end. Gus and Wahid take their pit as well as Nut. So that puts everything back into the original grid order. Revo in front. Seb 3.3 seconds behind. Now, Seb has no time penalties. So
keep an eye on where Ben comes out in front of Gus. How far the distance is. Wow, that's a hell of a jump down the cut.
Far, yeah.
That's
really
a 7 second more than that. Wow.
That'd be
really well.
About 9 seconds there.
Yeah.
The gap there. Yeah, so Seb, of course, no penalties. So all he has to do is stay within the 5-second range and he's won the race. And he won't know that. But yeah, he just has to keep it consistent. However, Revo can put down the pace when he needs to. So see how that goes. Bandcamp 13 seconds behind Seb there. So we'll see if he can make anything up, but I don't think so. I think it'll be Revo and Seb in their own little race, and Bandcamp will take the best of the rest.
Well, yeah, as T-Mac has said in chat, Gus on the softs got 10 laps to try and make up 8 seconds on Band with the better compound. Gonna be tough. Very tough. But he's probably the best position to actually do something about changing the top 3, as of course Combine's up there as well, but in terms of the other guys, are on the same compound as Band and they're all too far back, so keep an eye on that delta between Gus and Bandcamp. 7 seconds at the moment, or 7.5 seconds.
7.5 seconds between him and Combined as Nut leaves the session. Unfortunate. Bit of a disconnect there. So, how close can Combined get to the back of this Renault? Flyboy makes the overtake on Sachs there in the back.
Not with the cheeky disconnect, hoping his AI does a better job than he was.
Oh, there's a late break opportunity. Woo! Combined tried to get that late break there, but Bandcamp closed the door and said, nah, get in line.
Well, famous for his smoothness and his brutal defence.
Some people say that racing drivers tend to have a third eye. I reckon Bandcamp's third eye is just a rearview mirror.
Yeah, for sure.
His defensive moves are ridiculous. Not only does he have, like you said, not only does he have a smooth drive, but he defends well. Like it's not rapid movements. He closes the gap gradually, so you can't. He falls within the rules. He doesn't make multiple maneuvers. He just does one smooth maneuver before the brake line, which makes the driver behind him sort of go, oh, where do I go? And it's enough. It's enough. Sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of the times it does. And and Combined's having, look at it, it's so twitchy as he's trying to get past as they come round club into that.
Oh, it's really hard.
Straight there.
It's really hard to get. Oh, he's got a chance
trying
here.
To go out, but look at this. 0.1 the gap there as they come into Abbey. Round farm curve. Up in the village, Combined looks like he's got the pace in front, but Band's just defending like absolute champion.
Well, these corners are an absolute nightmare to follow in with this dirty air, so...
Of course, a lot of people running a lower front wing because of how fast the track is. So now Combined will have DRS. As he comes in, we'll jump on board. Will he get the drive? Band will try to push in. There it is there, and he gets it up. And now he's on the inside of Luffield and Woodcote. And that's it, and it's one. Bandcamp. Man, the driving, dude. Respect where respect is deserved. But now they're on the straight coming up the Cops. Oh, the inside of Cops is a bad idea. Yep, definitely has to pull back there. And he's now down.
He's used all of his ERS trying to get that done, so he'll have to take a step back, lick his wounds, and go for another run, I think.
Exactly. I was just about to mention that as well. All the DRS trying to do that. But yeah, the inside of Cops is a very bad idea. You can definitely attempt it, but I wouldn't. If you mess up, and that's bad territory for you, but Combined gets a fantastic overtake on the inside of Stowe, and that'll put Bandcamp right at the back. But if we have a quick look here,
well, Combined gets the move.
Bandcamp has about 80% ERS, so I have no doubt in my mind that he will be able to make that up. Of course, 2 DRS sections.
As long as he stays within touch, he's fallen back a little bit, but...
Yeah, it's 0.7 the gap now. Of course, still in DRS range, but we'll see how it goes. He bumps up to the second mode there on the... Yeah, and yeah, just to make a point, Gus has brung that gap... Gus has brung that gap from 7.9
I think is what you're looking for,
but That is right. It is broad. I'm good at English and French.
Good at your corner names, but we'll forget about the rest.
So Gus has brought that down to 3.5. Yeah. So well done to him. Of course, he is on the soft, so he's going to have that pace advantage. But how well are those tyres going to last at the end of the race? Because there is a sharp drop-off once you start hitting about 10 laps.
Oh, especially if you're pushing as hard as he is. No doubt. As we see a couple of other battles happening, Wahid and Greeny right up on each other.
Alright, so Bandcamp with the DRS as they come into Stowe. Will he make a move? I don't know if he's close enough to do so. Nope. Takes the safer option. Lotus with another 3-second time penalty.
Things were looking really good for those Toro Rossos earlier on, but it's sort of fallen away. But
going to just drop back, just jump on
this
board.
Bull Rocky, Greeny, and Wahid battle is really nice.
Just notice that on the interval there. Look at that nice little train as they come down the pit straight into Abbey. We'll see how moves they can make there. Of course, Greeny and Wahid going to be in the DRS range as they come out of the loop.
The better tyres too. The soft compound should have a pace advantage if he can find some air to use it.
Here we go. DRS down on Greeny. The softs coming into their own. Goes
Wahid
down
with
on the
a
inside,
lunge.
gets the position there. 7th now for Wahid, as his next target is Bull and Rocky in the Alpha. How can he make that work? Luffield into Woodcock, down the straight into Cops. He'll have a good advantage there on the soft tyre, but they are on 4 laps and they've got 6 to go, so that's going to put him on the 10 limit. So he might actually have managed this quite well. Down through Maggots Beckett's. Jump on board because the cameras are terrible. Revo gets a 129.9 there on the medium tyre. So Wahid's put it down to 0.3 into the DRS zone. He's got that activated. So does Greeny. He's going to get the perfect overtake now. Will it be on the left or the right? Oh, Bull and Rocky! That's good. He's pushing him out all the way onto the outside. But Wahid still gets it. Keeps himself on the track. And that's got him into 6th position.
Great job,
Very good
Wahid.
driving there from the Toro Rosso.
You have to leave it a space, and let's say he left him just enough if you count the dirt.
Yeah, yep. Just enough, but Wahid made it work. And no contact as well, and that's good to see. So now Bull and Rocky 0.2 behind Wahid, and he's going to have the advantage going into the DRS zone. But Wahid, of course, with the pace advantage of the soft tyre.
And the ARS advantage as well,
Mm-hmm.
which will help him end off.
All right.
I feel like any gap more than 0.5 of a second is a bit too much for DRS to help you on that straight. It's just as you start to make up the ground, the corner hits you.
All right. So just an interval update. Seb is now 5.7 seconds behind Revo. So if that continues, Revo, even with his pit lane penalty, will still take the win.
Let's not ignore Gus coming up on the back end of Bandcamp either.
Mm-hmm. Might have to take a quick change up there.
Got a
All
little
right, so
train
there's a
in
battle
Bandcamp.
happening for 6th, 7th and 8th, and there's a battle happening for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Combined, of course, 20 seconds behind Seb, so that's out of contention. But Bandcamp is 0.3 behind him. Gus is right up the back. 0.2 behind him as well as they come round Club into that pitch straight. So now it's going to be a fight on lap 22. Let's see how it all pans out. 0.4 the gap between both those drivers as they make their way into Village. And
Gus has done phenomenally well. When he came out of that pit, he was 8 seconds back from these two, and now he's within a second of them both.
yeah,
Fantastic
so it looks
driving.
like
Did it in 4 laps.
yeah, it looks like the soft, medium to soft is paying off. We'll see how much pace he can keep as the tyres get more and more degraded. But as of right now, it's working well. Bandcamp 0.3 behind combined. Gus 0.3 behind Bandcamp. This is going to be a really good train as they make their way down into the straight to Cops and, of course, Maggots Beckett's. So we'll see how well it pans out. The Ferrari's getting closer and closer to the back of that Renault.
All 3 of these guys desperate for that last podium spot too. This will be a great fight as Gus swings out wide. He's got a chance here.
Here we go. Is he
This
going
is
to get
not
it?
place you
Oh,
wanna do
man,
it.
he gets
This is
the
not
inside
where
on
you
the
wanna do
second, but then gets out.
Oh,
So he's
how
at a
have they not
disadvantage
touched there?
here coming into that last bit, but he's got it. He's managed to make it past. It forces
He'll have
Beard off
DRS
the
too.
track. So now, so they both have
Wow.
DRS. So Gus gets the position there, of course, with the added advantage of the softs, but Band's not going to take that lying down. Geordie with a 3-second time penalty in the back there. Band did get forced slightly off the track, but I think it might just be a gentleman's agreement. Because it
That's
was really close
one.
racing.
That's a bold place to go for a move like that.
Maggots
Holy
Beckett's.
crap.
Maggots Beckett's. Now, the interesting thing with that corner complex is, of course, you have a left, a right, and then a left again. Which means if you take the advantage on one corner, you're in the disadvantage in the other. So
Yep.
not only did he go outside, inside, out, but yeah, he just managed to push enough performance to give him the advantage throughout the entire corner complex.
Gus has the run on combined here. I think he's going to take it up the inside. He's definitely going for it. Oh, he's done it easy.
Oh, but combined takes a little bit there as well as they come in. Late braking right on the outside, but Gus has the inside line, so that's going to give him the advantage. And that puts him out. And Gus now taking 3rd position in the Ferrari.
What a phenomenal drive from 8 seconds back to taking 3rd in about
That is a
5,
great
6
drive, but now
laps.
combined right up the back of him as well. On those medium.
Power of these softs is just out of this world.
Gus already putting a 0.6 gap on that Haas. Man, as
Those
he
soft
keeps...
tyres make these medium tyres look like they're cubes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous
He
how
has
much.
so much pace. All right, so Bandcamp keeping really, really close on the back of that Haas. But the real magic driver here is definitely Gus. He won't be able to make 21 seconds, of course.
Nah.
But, jeez, he's done a great drive. He came out 9 seconds behind Bandcamp. But he's made it all up.
So well to do those overtakes in a good lap and a half as well. So he shouldn't have lost much tyre life in the fight. He should be okay just to ease it home to the end and take his podium. I don't think the guys behind will have any response. They just don't have the grip. Not to mention fighting with each other.
So looking at all the gaps now, Seb's getting closer and closer to that 6 second. So yeah, Revo just so much pace there. Oh, Bandcamp tries to go on the inside. Flyboy gets a 3 second time penalty. Unfortunate.
So what did we say the gap? Oh, did Seb just pick up a penalty?
I
think he did.
Didn't
Something
see a prompt, but
I feel like something just come up on the screen. Let me just double check real quick. Yep, Seb just picked up a 3 second. Okay.
Oh, well, that's his race done then.
So that's him. I was just about to say he needed to be within 5 of Revo, but now he needs to be within 2, so I don't think he's going to make 4 seconds up on him in the next 2 laps.
Alright, so Bandcamp with DRS as they come into Stowe, trying to make a move. Will he go? Oh, he tries to go on the inside. It's not going to work very well. He has to pull back. Now, it's down to desperation. Lap 25. So he's only got 2 laps to go.
Man, probably not
Paul
too
and Rocky
pleased.
getting a pretty good fight there. We'll just jump back real quick as the Toro Rosso and the Alfa Romeo driver fighting as they come round club.
Fighting just as my game crashes. I'll try and jump back in.
Alright, so Bandcamp is 0.3 behind combined, and then Wahid is 0.5 behind Bull and Rocky. So the fight for 4th and the fight for 6th are the closest on the grid so far. Unfortunately, Seb has a time penalty and is 6.5 behind Revo, so that's probably his race done as long as Revo doesn't do anything stupid. Jumping back up there with Bandcamp. Alright, he's close, getting closer and closer to the back of that Haas, and the gap now, Gus has put a gap of 1.5 to the Haas driver, so he's well and truly gone. On the straight of Cops, is Band going to make the... Oh, into this inside, and he does! He takes the overtake on the inside of Cops and makes it... Oh, what an overtake as they move into Maggots Beckett's. So that's great. That's a great... Oh, Band. Oh, Band. On lap 25. And he makes it now, so all he has to do is keep it. So will the famous Bandcamp defensive driving techniques... Will they keep him in the lead as he makes his way around the back sector for the final lap of the race? Or will Combined use both DRS advantages to take that position back? Gus with a 1.8 gap in front of Bandcamp, so he's definitely got 3rd nailed down as long as he keeps his head on. Okay, lap 26. The real fight will be between Combined and Band. And then another fight behind with Wahid and Bull. Now Wahid on the soft tyre, which gives him the pace advantage. But they are on 10 laps, so the degradation will definitely be a factor. Let's see how we go. Combined now, the gap 0.2.
Will he push the cheeky lunge?
Here we go. Let's go on back with him. Just jump on board real quick. Now, he's got 35% on his ERS. It's down to 0, so he's trying to charge up as much as he can for that last sector. Into Cops. Almost flat. All right, bringing down the gaps more and more. Will he shift up? No, keeps it in 7th. 2 on the DRS meter. 35% as he comes into that. Revo gets a 5-second time penalty again. Hold on a minute. Unserved? No, so that means... Okay, so Revo and Seb, of course, your 1st and 2nd is Combined, goes up on the outside into Stowe. Will he get the switchback? It pushes him a little bit, but Band's kept it. And he's probably not going to be able to get any sort of... Oh, he goes really late on the outside. That'll give him the inside into club. But no,
Band chopped him off just at the end.
Said no. Right there. Oh,
Shut
good
that
attempt.
door.
Good attempt by Combined, and that gives you your third and fourth. And Wahi drops down to 1 second behind him as well. So that's going to be that. Geordie's still close to Lotus here. Lotus has a ton of penalties, so I mean...
Now, I wasn't watching, but what the hell happened to Gus? He's finished behind Bandcamp and Combined.
Well, that would obviously be penalties.
He had penalties, yeah.
Let's quickly go on to the race.
And look how close he was. He's lost 2 spots over a 0.3 of a freaking...
Yeah, so there's a ton of penalties there for...
Wow, okay.
So
that's a brutal way to lose third place.
On the end there, but that was a great challenge there at the end by Combined, and it's unfortunate that he couldn't get it, but Band, man, I tell you, defense driving
that third
genius.
Place, that was anyone's game for the last 5 laps. That was phenomenal.
It is, so well done to Band, definitely, and of course well done to Revo with another win, and Seb taking up that second position. So still holding the mantle high for the Mercedes drivers, and Band taking up that third with unfortunate penalties, of course, for Gus. But yeah.
Pretty Hamilton Bottas-esque. They both just ran away with it, and we didn't need to look at them again. We knew what was going to happen.
Indeed. Okay, so let's have a quick look here. Gus had a 3-second time penalty. Only the one. And that was enough to push him down into that 5th position.
How unlucky.
That is very unlucky. Revo with a 5-second time penalty there, and Seb with a 3, which gives them the 1st and 2nd. Bandcamp takes up your 3rd position. Combined in 4th there. What a great battle between those two. Wahi doing quite well there at the back, but unfortunately... he managed to make it 6th as well, which means Bull and Rocky would have had... Yes, Bull and Rocky had a 3-second time penalty, so good job to Wahi there. Very unfortunate for Flyboy and Geordie, of course. They had their race pretty bad.
Yeah,
of course, Flyboy with the spin, Geordie with the...
He was certainly up there for a top 5 sort of spot on his current pace. Yeah.
So that's unfortunate for them. Okay, this has been hope you enjoyed it. This has been a pretty good race. Decent battles all around as we finish up now, and me and C Carrot got to get out so we can do our own race in T2. So as always, I've been Kunai Zero. This has been C Carrot, and I hope you've enjoyed.
Cheers, guys. Catch you next week.
And we'll see you next week.